Hi everyone, welcome once again to the Classic Car Ninjas, the YouTube channel for classic, interesting and retro vehicles. And today, Richard, we're looking at the quintessential Businessman's Express from the 1980s. I'm of course talking about this glorious 635 CSI from BMW.
I'm actually so glad we're doing this one because I actually looked at one of these back in 1990.
Just out of production.
1990.
Must have been an expensive car then.
Yeah, it was. I looked at three. I test drove three, couldn't afford them, second hand obviously.
Yeah.
I had to, in the end, I bought a 735 CSI in the end. So
What, 735i surely?
735i, yeah, in the end, because I couldn't afford the 6 Series. I always wanted one, but I mean, this is a beaut, isn't it?
Oh, this is stunning. I mean, the 6 Series, although it's got the reputation of being the 80s Express, it actually came into production in January 1976 and ran for 13 years, which is quite unheard of in today's car production. In that time, 86,000 units were sold.
Bloody hell.
There were various markets and various incarnations of the car, including the 630, the 633, the 628.
Yeah.
This one, of course, is a 635 CSI. The CSI stands for Coupe Sports Injection. This particular car was owned by JK of the pop band Jamiroquai, and in that time spent an awful lot of money on it.
Can you spell that?
No, I can't.
Look at that.
And I can tell you that this is one of just 524 in right-hand drive of the 635 CSI. So let's get started. Let's get the review on. I'm here with the owner of the car, Steve. Steve's an old friend of mine. He's a collector I've known for many years. Steve, this is a fantastic example of a 635 CSI. How did you come by it?
Well, always wanted one, Toby. For years and years, wanted a 6 Series. They plummeted in value. They were sort of worthless, rusted away to nothing.
I remember that time.
Yeah, they seem to have peaked, and that's when I kind of wanted one. Fancied a coupe, loved the 6 Series, fantastic design, so I went out and tried to find a good one.
That must have been quite a search because, as you said, a lot of them had gone to nothing. There's also a lot of tat out there being marketed as pristine, and you get there and they're basket cases. This is far from a basket case. In fact, I'd say this is one of the best ones in the country. So, Steve, can you tell me a bit about the car?
Sure. It's one of 180 run-out motorsport editions. There were 60 in Macau blue, Misano red, and 60 in Nagaro silver. They were shadow line, so no chrome.
Yeah.
High line, extended leather, and this is one of 60 in Macau blue.
60? Was that worldwide or just for the UK?
I think they were UK market motorsport editions.
Yeah. Okay, well here's an interesting ninja nugget for you. Over to Richard.
This generation of 6 Series we're reviewing is known as Model Code E24. This ran for 13 years between 76 and 89. Then there was a hiatus until 2003 when BMW launched the next generation 6 Series, the E63. Larger, more powerful engines were offered in the lineup, including a 4.4 and a 4.8 V8, and then there was a high performance V10 fitted to the M6. The third generation 6 Series, model code F12, was launched in 2011 and that ran for 7 years. Then oddly, in 2017, BMW launched a 6 Series 5-door hatchback, which then ran for 6 years. How strange was that?
Well, that's enough talk for now. I've got the keys. Let's get out of the cold and take this thing for a drive.
Hang on a minute.
What?
I've been waiting since 1990 to drive one of these. Can I drive?
I
Please.
suppose so.
Thank you, sir. Nice one.
Let's go.
Let's go!
Well, Richard, we're in the car now. Tell me, was it worth 35-year wait to get behind the wheel of a 635 CSI?
It was. This just feels tight. It's a nice drive. It's smooth. It's better than I thought, actually. I wasn't expecting this. Yeah.
I mean, this car's done 52,000 miles, so you'd expect it to be tight. But with the money that's been lavished on this car, you can certainly tell, can't you? This is not an old boner.
No. This is a good example, isn't it? Yeah. It's lovely. Suspension's great. It's just nice. Tight. It's just
Even on these tight, windy roads, it doesn't feel like an old car.
Yeah, I mean we're going through this sort of old village at the moment, old Northamptonshire village, and there are potholes and there's windy bits, but it's great. Yeah, it's handling it great. Actually, this is very responsive. I've just touched the throttle, and for an old car, it's still got it.
Well, I mean, it's 286 horsepower. Interestingly enough, we spoke about it earlier. The American one, they were detuned due to their regulations, and it cost them 20 horsepower. A significant change in a car of this size.
That is, yeah.
Look at this
Nice
ice,
convenient point.
ice on the ground, Richard.
I know,
It's not great,
this is
it?
winter, isn't it?
Yeah. Still, what a day to be
There
driving
you
a
go.
635 CSI Highline.
Let's just pull up a little bit more there. That's a bit safe. Right, you can have a go, sir.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no problemo. Oh.
Allow me to hold the door for you, sir.
Thank you.
Right, I've been looking forward to this. Whoa. 635 CSI. I'll make sure the door shuts. God.
Seatbelt on, heater on.
Yeah, it's a cold day today.
It is a cold day today.
Things we do for classic car ninjas, Rich.
Might have to back it up to avoid that wall.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
Nothing coming, nothing coming.
Clear.
What I like about this car is, even though it is a 1989 car, so it's coming up for 35 years old, it doesn't feel like a 35-year-old car. And what I like about this era of classic cars is people my age buy these cars because we remember them when we were kids, we couldn't afford them, and now they've become available to us. But if you were buying a car that's 35 years old in the 1980s, you'll end up driving something like an Austin A40 or something, which doesn't drive like a modern car. Whereas this car's done 52,000 miles, it's got a 3.5 litre fuel injected engine, and it drives incredibly well. It's fast, it's tight, it's easy to see out of, which if you look at modern cars with a big thick A and B pillars, you can't see a damn thing out of them, whereas this has got fantastic visibility. It drives so well. It's comfortable, it's got electric windows, it's got air conditioning, it's got power seats, it's got a CD player, it's got heated seats. I mean, everything about this car is what you need out of a modern classic. I mean, if you're looking for something like this, which you're going to drive a couple of thousand miles a year, a few months of the year, you really couldn't find a better car than this. If you compare it to what was available at the time, Porsche 928 or Mercedes SEC, whether that be 500 or 560, there or thereabouts, they were in competition with each other. I just have to say that this 635 CSI seems to deliver on everything you could hope for a classic car. What a bit of kit. And I feel really, really privileged to be able to sit here and drive this car. What a fantastic motor. I think compared to the cars that were its natural competition, the Jaguar XJS, the Mercedes 500 SEC, and indeed the Porsche 928, I think this car really holds its own in that company. In fact, watch for future episodes of Classic Car Ninjas featuring all of those cars. So I'm really pleased that we've had the chance to drive this 6 Series, especially one as nice as this, because of course it really has set a significant benchmark for us to compare those cars to. Well, that was a serious drive. Really, really enjoyable. Richard, what do you think about that?
Lovely, I loved it. Loved it.
It was really good. Right, let's get this parked up.
A nice design feature of the early BMWs was the way the bonnet closed.
So if you thought soft close doors was a design of Mercedes in the 1990s, I think they may have taken a bit of inspiration from BMW in the 80s. Steve, show us how it works. Hey presto. Well, Rich, I really enjoyed that. I have to say, it was an ambition to drive a 635 CSI.
Yeah.
I know you wanted to buy one. I've never driven one before.
No, lovely.
And it was, I would have to say, it was what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Although it's an old car, it didn't feel old. It felt quite tight.
Yes.
This one, obviously,
It was
particularly
quite
nice
modern,
one.
really, to be honest. It was modern. It had that modern feel.
I felt that it didn't feel that modern.
I did actually. Not high-tech modern.
Yeah.
But modern, low-tech, if that makes sense.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
To me, it felt like I was driving a classic car, but I knew I was driving a BMW, not just because of the BMW badges, but it was proper old school BMW.
It's very BMW, isn't it?
My dad had a 1992 BMW M5 back in the day.
Nice.
Quite a similar interior, in fact the same colour. The only difference, the M5 was a 6-speed manual as opposed to this being an automatic. But I did think you could probably use this now. I wouldn't drive it around.
I would use this. I would use this as a daily. Yeah.
We're filming this in December, so it's obviously not the time to do it. But in the summer months, if you're looking for a car April to September, this would be lovely for it.
Yeah.
And it's although it's a classic car, it's modern enough for that task, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And I did speak to Steve. He tells me that he gets it serviced at BMW, the main BMW dealer. Still, they do handle the classics as you would expect them to. The parts are widely available.
Yeah. And not expensive compared with modern cars, really, are they?
What are you talking about? The price of the car?
Yeah, no, the parts. Maintenance is actually cheaper now than the modern cars. So
well, that's good. Of course, that's
affordable.
That's what we say here on Classic Car Ninjas.
Affordable classics.
And they're low tech as opposed to all these new ones. My wife's got a Citroen that's got more computers than the space shuttle.
Well, I had an X5. I had an X5 a few years ago, and it was sensors everywhere, and they started going wrong. It's a few years old. And it was like, you couldn't do anything. You had to go to BMW. It cost me a fortune in the end. I got rid of it. And it was a shame. It was a good car, but it's just full of sensors. It's just too much tech.
Too much tech. Whereas this is from a time, a bygone era, where I think, I'm pretty sure this hasn't even got an airbag.
No, it didn't.
It's a lovely car, a lovely thing, and I'm really privileged.
It's a head turner. I think it's a head turner car because how many 6 Series do you see on the? You don't see them, do you?
You never see them anymore.
You never see them.
They're pretty
Unless
rare.
you go to shows, car shows. They're pretty rare, aren't they?
Yeah. I have to say, we're lucky on Classic Car Ninjas here that we've actually had the chance to drive such a fantastic car.
This is a good example, isn't it? A very good example. Perfect example.
I think this is one of the best. This must be one of the best in the UK.
I think you're right. I haven't seen one better than this actually. Yeah. This is lovely. Yeah.
So I want to thank Steve for the loan of his wonderful car.
Do you want him to sell it?
I'll ask him.
How much does he want for it?
I don't know. I'll ask him. He's operating the camera. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Classic Car Ninjas. If you want to see more classic cars getting reviewed and tested, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. We're always happy to hear what you've got to say. So I'm Toby.
I'm Richard.
And thanks for watching. Bye for now.
See you next time.